The court's on record in 24 CRI 124, State of Ohio versus Joshua. Is it Booker? Is that how you say it? Yes, thank you. Matters before the court for preliminary hearing. The defendant is present, represented by Attorney Don Wick, who is also present on behalf of the State of Ohio's Assistant Prosecuting Attorney Mike Hallow. Matter was charged by a complaint on April 3rd, 2024, alleging one count of failure to comply with an order or signal of a police officer felony of the third degree. Mr. Cowell, anything by way of opening?
Judge, State of Ohio would waive opening statements.
Thank you, Mr. Cowell.
Your Honor, likewise waived.
Right. Thank you. Mr. Cowell, you may proceed with the first witness.
Thank you, Judge. Thank you, Judge. Sir, could you state your name?
My name is Deputy Curtis Hall.
Your employer?
Ashland County Sheriff's Office.
Can you review with me your history, training, and experience in law enforcement?
I went to the police academy in 2010. I've been a police officer, worked at the Ashland County Sheriff's Office for right around 4 years. I attended the basic police academy and attended numerous patrol-related courses through that time. In 2020, I went through instructor courses. 2022, I became a adult ed teacher in all sorts of topics. I do
Thank you, sir. Did it come a time in April 2024 that you got involved in the investigation with a Joshua Boucher?
On April 1st, 2024.
Okay. Can you tell us what happened?
On April 1st, 2024, I was assigned to patrol the south side of Ashland County looking for a homicide suspect that seemed on the west side of the forest, or into the forest. I went down, checked what's in Ashland County in that area, which would be the lodge and most of the park areas in that area. I went down and patrolled the very southwest corner, dirt roads and all the little alcoves in that area.
Can I back you up for a second? Yes. You said that you're looking for a homicide suspect. What caused your attention to this? What's going over the radio? What do you know?
I received a call that a homicide suspect had been in that area.
Okay.
I received a vehicle description, a white Toyota, and a picture from a detective in Knox County, and side by Dorby. And then I also had received information which I was able to bring in a picture off of these for the suspect.
Okay. So the picture you got is of the suspect plus the lead?
Yes.
Okay. And that's what got you started?
Yes.
All right. And then I interrupted you. You're patrolling. I interrupted you, but you're patrolling an area now looking for the suspect.
I'm patrolling an area around, I patrolled it for several hours, from 8 a.m. to around 11:30, 11:40 at time. Call comes out of a crash on 89. The crash is a head-on incident. So I began to float back up towards Loudonville, of the area that I was patrolling, to put myself in a situation if anything were to come of that. I began to patrol it that way, and then a stolen vehicle was called out over the radio of a truck, a large truck, a 3500 Chevy truck. Colors were a little bit blurry at the very beginning, but it was a 3500 GMC with ladder lights.
Big truck.
Big truck.
Heavy truck.
Yes. So once that came out, I began to drive quicker, quickly patrolled 60 northbound, 95, let me back up why I patrolled that. The suspect, I was told by the Knox County detective that the suspect would likely be moving southbound to kill another associate. So I tried to stay in the area in which I can intercept that if that were to be true. Knowing that, I tried to make a quick run around what I call that south loop, the 179, 360. Made a quick run, was down, came back around, did not locate the suspect in that loop, came back up 60, and began slowly patrolling and looking for back roads. I believe at the time that the suspect would likely be cruising back roads, looking to avoid state patrol. So I began slowly looking back roads, come up to 2754 or 2475. I look into the intersection. There's a box truck, which is a Amazon box truck, another vehicle, and then a silver 3500 Chevy truck with ladder racks. I looked. The driver approaches the intersection. I am sitting just to the south intersection, rolling about 15 mile an hour into the intersection. I look over, make contact with the driver. The driver matches the picture of the suspect that I was chasing or looking for. I noticed that the suspect appeared to be panicked, and I turned immediately, and he turned and started southbound and quickly began passing cars and accelerating.
Let me stop you there. So you see the driver matches the guy you're looking for, and the truck matches the stolen one.
Yes.
And tell me how you understand it to be a stolen truck.
At this time, around probably about 5, maybe 4 minutes before officers started arriving on the scene, and we're able to locate the white Toyota crash, and we're able to talk to, at the time, the victim of the theft. They reported that back over the radio, not directly to me, just over the radio. So I was aware that vehicle and that intersection was stolen, and not operated by the owner.
I interrupted you, but now you've identified him. How far away when you identified the driver?
Not far.
Not far.
15 feet, probably.
15 feet. So you've identified the guy you're looking for, the truck you're looking for, and then you do a U-turn.
Well, let me say that. I'm a lane away from him. He's in the intersection, and I'm the southbound lane, however far that is, and then I'm in the northbound lane looking directly at him.
Okay. The guy you see driving that pickup truck, is he in the courtroom?
Yeah, he's
Can you identify him?
He's the defendant's table.
And what's he wearing?
Red and white today, or red pink.
A judge, if the record reflect the appropriate identification of the defendant in the case. And, all right, so you do a U-turn. What happens next?
We began southbound. I'm lights and sirens the moment I make the turn.
Okay.
As I'm making the turn, I'm throwing the lights and sirens on. He's southbound. He gets a little bit of gain on me in the turn. The car didn't quite want to make the turn as tightly as it needed to. I got the turn. He started southbound. He began immediately passing cars. He is showing no regard in his movements. He is passing. People are pulling over for him to try to get out of his way. We continue southbound. He continues passing cars. We reach over speeds that I would say is probably over 100. I'm definitely over 100 at that point. And we're weaving through cars. Cars are pulling over now, but we are still weaving through cars. We go into the S-curves and the 2700 block, and he begins passing cars in that S-curve. As I come into the S-curves, spike strips are thrown into the curve. There's a semi or a large truck and then several cars as we're navigating through. It was difficult for me to navigate through there because of the tightness of all those cars coming to a stop in that intersection. I navigated through. We came out of the S-curves. He's gained some distance on me into the straightaway. As I come out, I was able to gain a little bit of distance. He loses it and begins to either slide or spin into the intersection of 2802. He slides and goes into yards.
Let me stop you there. So from the time you see him at the intersection, you got lights and sirens on, and you're flying down the road chasing him at speed of up to 100 miles an hour, plus or minus.
Yes.
And you're indicating that he's passing traffic. What are the traffic rules of the road? Is that yellow?
On that first part, it is passing zone. The first part he comes into, and then pretty much everything after that is no passing. There is a couple small sections in that area, but into those curves there's definitely no passing.
And when you get in the curve, what's the visibility like to make those passes?
It's blind. It's blind in that particular curve. The 2700 block curve is, I mean, it is it is extreme. The best way to describe it would be extremely dangerous to pass anything in that.
So it's extremely dangerous speed and extremely dangerous to pass there.
Yes.
There's no way to do it.
Yes.
And the road markings really don't matter. You guys are going.
I entered that curb in the high 80s. I mean, I'm heavily braking into those curves, but I'm in the high 80s. I would go back, but I'm driving it pretty aggressively at that point.
Defendant's driving a 3,500 heavy truck,
Yes.
going the same speeds.
Yes.
I interrupted you, but you get through these, the quick turns, the curvies, and you starting to get distance on you. Can you pick me up there?
Yes. So we are just north of Loudonville at this point. He has lost it and began into going to yards. He looks, from my perspective, very close to a home. Comes through the yards. As I'm approaching, I make the decision I'm going to do as I'm approaching. It is likely in the best interest with the factors I know at that time. I know that he's a homicide suspect. At least that's what I've been told at the time. I know that he has stolen a vehicle and he is a danger to others, and he is actively fleeing into an area that I know is heavily populated on a school day. He loses it, he goes to the yard. I make the decision that I'm going to intervene. I'm going to intervene by intentional contact. He's coming through the yards. There's a concrete pad. As he goes onto the concrete pad, I make intentional contact just behind the driver's door of his truck with my cruiser. My cruiser suffers disabling damage. We come out of the yards. I make no more further contact as we come out of the yards. I stay with the pursuit until the end of 9:50 or 4:57 or 4:58. It's Holmes County. I'm not super familiar. I believe it's 4:58. Comes out onto 3. I turn north. They turn south. That's the last.
You were hurt in this pursuit?
Yes, I was treated for a possible broken ankle, ultimately a sprain, and some fluid on my knee, and went home and get the best heal up and back to work today.
And that was part of the injury sustained when you intentional contact the truck stop.
Yes.
Okay, and that's part of your training and experience.
Yes, I'm aware of case law that in certain situations that would allow us to intervene with the use of force to prevent further risk to other people in communities.
Okay. Last question.
Yes, the stolen vehicle happened on 89 and a 2000 block. I'm pretty sure in that area, in the 2000 block, right in that area. And then the police chase kicked off on State Route 60 and the 2400 block.
Both of those are Ashland County.
Both of those are Ashland County.
All right.
Just north of Loudonville. Yeah.
Thank you, sir. There's no further questions, please, witness.
With?
Deputy, if I understood correctly, then at what point did you activate your lights and sirens?
The time I made the turn. My lights and sirens on. When I made the turn.
When you made the turn, I put on him.
Yes, I made the turn. I put my lights on.
All right. And at any time, did you use your intercom system?
No, I did not.
And if I understood correctly, when the vehicle went into the yard, that's when you took further action?
Intervention. Yeah, I made intentional contact.
You made contact. And then after that, then, though, you just continued any further contact with him?
I did.
Okay. So at the conclusion of all this, do you have any personal contact with the driver of the vehicle?
No, I went to the hospital.
You went to the hospital?
You mean like I have a conversation?
Yeah, conversation, or were you privy to a conversation or interview of him?
No.
Okay. Nothing further, Your Honor.
No regrets, Judge.
No objection.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir. Could you state your name?
Sergeant Matt Neff,
Could you tell me your employer?
Ashland County Sheriff's Office.
Will you review with us your history, training, and experience as a law enforcement officer in the state of Ohio?
Yeah, I went to the police academy in 2016, successfully passed that. Began part-time here, part-time in another small village up north of here. Became full-time. I've been doing training ever since 2016 until today.
Okay. We're here to talk about the Joshua Bowshare case. Were you involved in that case?
Yes, I was.
Okay. Can you tell me how your involvement started?
Approximately 9 a.m., we got a Bolo, be on the lookout, a white Camry involved in a possible homicide in Morrow County. The phone last pinged down by Mohican Forest, which is in Loudonville, southern part of Ashland County. We were down there for multiple hours, multiple cops, multiple agencies. I was down there probably 3 hours, and then I had to go back up north for another call.
Okay. And then in this process, when did you get involved in actually seeing him case again?
Well, I responded to a head-on collision, ODOT truck versus a white car. Me and other deputies responded, and we found out that the same vehicle involved in the head-on crash was successfully identified as the vehicle we were looking for earlier.
And that's the traffic accident that the officer was discussing, right?
Correct.
And then what happened at that accident? You showed up and started investigating that accident. What do you know?
We show up, the witness who was on scene, he said that the guy got out of the white car and got into his 3500 Denali truck and took off a high rate of speed southbound on 89.
And what do you do next?
We radioed to all the other deputies to be on the lookout for this new vehicle. Suspect just stole it, heading southbound, and that's when all the other deputies began surrounding the area.
What's your next involvement?
Next involvement, I hear Deputy Hogg in pursuit of them. I'm still at the accident scene. Right when they called out foot pursuit after this little intentional conduct, they requested a canine to go to the scene. I'm a canine handler, so I left the accident scene and headed down to Rockville.
And what happened next?
I positioned myself. We were just in Holmes County, and me and two other deputies got out, and I took my dog into the woods. We were in the woods probably 30 minutes when we located a jacket, Carhartt jacket, hanging up in the wooded area. From there, my canine tracked and followed the tracks all the way to a residence. And that is where a bunch, we call it the backup, SRT, OSP team came, special response team, and other deputies came to the house.
What did you do next?
A detective made contact with the owner who was not at the house. He said the house should be open, no doors should be locked. The garage door was indeed locked, and the owner said no one should be in there, the door should be open, and he gave us permission to enter the residence and clear it. I sent my canine through the garage. He cleared the garage. I gave 3 to 4 verbal announcements. Canine's coming in. You're in the house. Identify yourself or you're going to get bit. Canine cleared the garage area, hooked him back up, and seen an open door leading into the house. And then a deputy found another door in the back of the garage. We went into the garage, back of the garage first, opened it, we began searching it, and me and my canine located a male hiding behind what appeared to be a refrigerator back in the corner of the room. We backed out, began giving verbal commands to come out with your hands up. This time there's probably 20 of us in there, all at gunpoint. And that time the male showed his hands and began coming into the middle of the room.
Did that male into custody?
I personally did not, but yes, Vita.
Law enforcement officers took that male into custody?
Correct.
Did you get a look at that male?
I did.
And can you tell us what was that?
Yes, he's at the defendant's table wearing yellow and red jail scrubs. I'm sorry, white and red.
Judge, can the record reflect positive identification of the defendant in this case?
Where's the subject?
Does that terminate your involvement in this case?
Yes, it does.
Thank you. Judge, no further questions?
Thank you, Mr. Mendoza.
Excuse me, I'm not practiced regularly here. Your last name?
Neff. N-E-F-F.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome.
And if I understood correctly, then, while you were in the house, with the individual that you were looking for. You did not have any direct contact with him?
The only thing I was ordering out into the open, he's hiding in the back corner.
Okay.
So the only thing is, let me see your hands, come out, and that's the only contact I have.
Okay. And any other observations of his physical well-being at that time?
No, he took about a minute to pull his hands out, and then the whole time he was hands up. He was muttering a few things, couldn't really understand them, and he came out into the room.
Okay, so he was muttering stuff, but you didn't understand what he was saying?
He said, I can explain, but that's the only thing I could get out of it. He said I could explain.
Okay. And that was the extent of your involvement?
Correct.
Okay. Nothing further?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
No regret, Judge.
You may stand down. Any other witnesses?
No other witnesses, Judge, state rest.
Fence restaurant would waive closing.
Callow, any closing?
Judge, for closing, the state just indicate that we think we carried a burden in the state as to make the appropriate.
Still waiving?
Still waiving, Your Honor. Thank you.
All right, court has considered the evidence presented today. I am finding probable cause to believe that the crime alleged, at a minimum, the crime alleged, a felony of the third degree has been committed, that the defendant committed it, and I am ordering that the defendant be bound over for the grand jury. Callow, will that be this grand jury or the next one?
Judge, I would anticipate it being the next grand jury.
Court is therefore going to set this for a further appearance. Let's get the calendar work.
Let me double check it. Judge, I would now anticipate it being on Friday. Next week would be appropriate.
Okay, well, it just so happens we've got all day Tuesday available.
And I'm scheduled to begin a jury trial in Marion County on Tuesday.
So how long do you think that'll go?
Your Honor, it's anticipated 3 days.
I've got you here I've got you for a hearing on April 19th at 9:30. Would you like to do this at 9?
Sure.
That works. Yes, court is going to schedule a matter for further appearance on Friday, April 19th, 2024 at 9 a.m. We will conduct that by video. Anything further we can do today, counsel?
I have nothing, Your Honor.
All right, with that, this matter will be adjourned until April 19th. Thank you, counsel.
Thank you, sir.